All right, so as you can see right now, we're back for the kind of summer videos where we're in a park, and I'm doing this for two reasons today, because first of all, it's like 86 degrees today. I live in upstate New York, and we take advantage of those very nice days because we get like 3 of them a year basically, and then it's just snow and cold. But also we're gonna be building a Typeractive Corne today, specifically with their no solder headers. Now, I built a few different builds for Typeractive over the past few years. I'll link those on the screen right now so you can go back and watch them. But the last time I built one for them, they didn't actually have the no solder headers. They're out of stock, and I was able to get them for this build, so I'm really excited for that. We're basically gonna be building it in the park today because this is so easy, you could build it in a park. It's probably gonna take like 20 minutes. So with that, we're gonna jump in, open this box up, and get an idea what we have here. Of course, I have my packing slip, which I blocked down all my info on there before this. But first off, it kind of comes very nicely wrapped in here, so we can take off this paper. I'm gonna hand that to my girlfriend off screen here so it doesn't go flying. But what we have first is we have the little displays. So if I could pop these open with the bubble wrap on them and just kind of pull these out here. We have our little displays right here, so you can kind of see those. These are their OLEDs basically, or not OLEDs, they're like an LCD, but they use very low power draw. They're called nice views. They're kind of expensive, like 25 bucks a pop, but they look really cool on the build. And specifically for wireless builds, OLEDs are really, well, displays. I keep calling these OLEDs because we used to call them OLEDs, but displays are nice on these wireless builds because they show you stuff like your layers and of course your battery info or connection info, so it's really kind of useful for that. Put those off to the side here. I'll give this to her again so it doesn't go flying in the park. We have our black DSA keycaps here, and I don't think I mentioned yet that this entire build, you can actually use their configurator. It's a really nice way to kind of go through, pick out all your parts, see like a 3D thing. There's probably a thing on the screen right now of me showing how it works, but you can pick everything out and configure it, which is really, really nice. So I just went with some kind of black keycaps here, which I think will look good on this. I believe these are JWICK Linears. I forget what they are. They're just some JWICK Linear switches there. This is hot swap, so you can swap whatever you want in there, but I'm just going with these because that's what the kit kind of had the option to have. And then we have down below, all nicely wrapped up, we have each half, I believe. I kind of looked at this before the video, but what we have is if I just open this up, yet again, I'll pass this to you so it doesn't go flying. We have one of the 3D printed cases here, and you can see that I kind of went with the blacked out look here, which I think will look really nice. So we have the bottom kind of case here. We have our no solder little things there for socketing everything, which will be really cool to use. So I believe these are for each half. We'll look at a second, but then we have a nice nano. So that's our little wireless controller. So we'll use that to actually get wireless on it. We have another nice nano because you're gonna need one for each side. We have our little Typeractive info card and stuff, which I'll just put over here so it doesn't go flying. We have an FR4 plate in the bottom and then just our case. I believe we have the same thing over here. So if I open up this one, what we'll have yet again, I'll hand that to her. We have a little battery, so that's our little 110 milliamp hour battery, which the batteries on these last a pretty long time. There's a power profiler over on ZMK for the ZMK documentation. I think it's like a few weeks you get before having to charge. I never had a battery issue with them. You get 2 batteries there. We get our mounting hardware, so we have that, and then we have our little covers for the displays, which is just some clear acrylic is what I opted for. They also have like cutout ones, which might be cool, but same thing on the bottom, this is the FR4 and the 3D printed plate. And then finally, I don't know what's in this one. Let me see what's in here. But yes, of course, these are our PCBs. You see, I'm the hand wiring guy typically, so I forgot that this is actually a PCB build. So we do have in here, of course, we have 2 little PCBs, which basically has everything soldered to it. So actually, let me pop one of these open and I can show you. Am I gonna have to cut this? No, there's a little thing here, so I can pop that open. And the beauty of the Typeractive builds that I really like with their things is that it's just a really fast and easy way for like a beginner to build a Corne. The Corne is kind of my favorite keyboard, like generic keyboard, I guess, or more popular keyboard. I've just really liked it ever since I built my first one, but you can see that we have here kind of the PCB, and we have everything pretty much soldered to it there. So we have all our switches and stuff. We have our little battery connector. But yeah, that's kind of what comes in it. So at this point, I'm gonna actually clean this up and kind of get ready because I have to build this now. But my goal is to do it in about 20 minutes because I think that's what I can do. There's no soldering involved. I'm really excited because we have them somewhere over here. Let me dig through my pile of parts. That's why I gotta clean this up afterwards. Where are they? Right here. These are what I'm just so excited for, is that we're just gonna be able to pop these in and it should allow us to build it without any soldering. So I'm gonna clean up and then we'll be back to actually build it. All right, so here we are with the left half of the keyboard. I'm gonna just show you this process on one half and then I'm gonna time lapse through the other half because it's the exact same thing for both. But what we have in here is we have, of course, our battery, which is what we're gonna actually start with in a moment. We have our display here because we'll mount that on. We have our little headers in here, which I'm not gonna take on the case because I don't wanna lose them in the grass, so it'll be a very annoying thing if that happened. We have those in there. Then we of course have our nice Nano. Now, an important thing to note about the nice Nano is that this side here is called the face. This is the back of it. And if we look, I'm gonna actually put these here carefully. I'm gonna grab my PCB. And if we look on the PCB, you're gonna see right there that it says, place the controller face down. So you basically want to make sure that when you take your controller, you're placing it this way so that it's actually facing the PCB and that flat part is up top. Otherwise your stuff won't work. I don't think it will break anything. It's just that's how you have to mount it in order for the connections to be correct. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually just put this in here. We're gonna put this in here. We're gonna grab our two little 14 pin or whatever these are, the longer ones for the nice Nano. We're gonna keep those. We're gonna keep our nice Nano, and then we're gonna also grab our little battery right here. Now the reason I'm mounting the battery first, I'm gonna show you, all you do for the battery is there's a little JST connector right here. The battery will have a notch on the top, and you'll see it's really hard to mess this up. You basically just plug that in, and before doing that though, you wanna make sure that your switch for the power is in the off position. So that's gonna be down towards the bottom of the PCB, so you can see that says off. We'll plug in our battery, and you want to keep this off until you're ready to turn it on. We're just going to pop our battery in there by just clicking it in place. It's going to kind of flop around, and what I do is I just take it and kind of route it right like that, so it's going to sit underneath the actual controller. So we'll kind of put that like that for now. We'll put this down, and then we're going to grab our controller, and what we want to do is, remember, keep in mind that face here. We're going to take our little pins, so we have these here, we have our controller, and on this you're going to notice that up towards the top here there's a smaller hole. You want to make sure that these are kind of facing the bottom of it. So you want to start at the bottom of the controller where it says nice Nano, and you're just going to take these and you're going to put them in there, and you're just going to kind of push down, and what you'll feel is that they'll actually just click into place there. And that's really it. They're just kind of on there, so this is no solder. They are rated for like 50, I think I might have mentioned that already, they're rated for like 50 insertions and removals, so they do have like a lifespan. You're not gonna really be ever doing that unless you break a controller. You're gonna have to replace them, you can do that. But that's just kind of how they sit. It's just on there like so. We're gonna grab the other ones and do the same thing. You just take them and just kind of pop them in just like that. So if I get really close here, you can see that they just kind of pop in. And that's really it for that. So you can see that we have this little assembly here. And what we can do is we'll grab our PCB and put that in there. And we're gonna take this battery and kind of route it where we want, just kind of estimate it. Remember, the face goes like that, and you're just gonna pop that into the PCB. Now I'm gonna have to kind of hold this closer so I can actually see what I'm doing, but that's really it, just like that. So that is now installed into the PCB. And if I actually power this up, you should see, I don't think you'll actually see on here because it's so bright, but I see it in there. There's an LED turning on, so that's mounted. It's getting power, everything's good there. Now the next thing to do is that we're gonna put that down. We're gonna grab our little display right here. So that's a little nice view. We're gonna grab our other pins. So the same thing yet again here is that we have our little short pins. We're gonna take our nice view, and then we're gonna go on the back of it right here. Just gonna take those pins and pop them in, just like so. And then there's gonna be some pins down below the controller right there, where you can kind of take this and then just push them into place. And that's pretty much everything assembled on this half there, other than the switches and keycaps. So I'm gonna actually go grab that and prepare that to show you that part, and then I'll show you how that's done, and then I'll just time lapse through it. All right, so now I have my switches over here. I have my keyboard with the kind of assembly right here, and really it's just like Legos at this point. I mean, it pretty much has been up until now. It's really easy to do this, but we have our switches. I'm gonna just take one of these out here. So I'm just gonna pop a switch out here. I'm gonna grab my plate, and the way we're gonna do this is we're just gonna take a single switch. You want this hole at the top of the switch. It's gonna kind of face like this. And you'll see this when you're building it, it's pretty easy to see, but they're gonna sit like that in the plate. And what I like to do is kind of put a few in here. So I'll put one here, I'll put one up in like the corner here. I'll take another and maybe put it in like the middle here, just to kind of give it stability, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm gonna actually pop this out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the plate here. I'm gonna just kind of get it in place where I can start popping these in. So I'll put that one in, put this one in here, kind of pop that in. And what you want to make sure when you put these switches in is that if I put this one down here, you're going to see that it kind of doesn't sit in the plate. Those geese are really fighting over there, but you can see
Maybe give them a second.
There's a lot of geese over there.
Fine. So we'll be out in a minute.
Anyway, before we're so rudely interrupted by geese, what I was trying to mention is that this here is kind of sitting like that. You want to make sure you're kind of pulling the plate to make sure it clicks properly in place like that, just so you can get the the level equal. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just do a long time lapse assembling pretty much everything up until the point that you need to assemble more of it. So everything you've seen so far, I'm just gonna do all that, get all the switches in, and then I'll be back after where I can talk about kind of putting together the little OLED covers and screwing the case together. All right, so we have both halves here. In that time lapse, it probably took in real time like 10 minutes or less to kind of assemble that. And yet again, no soldering, which is pretty cool for this. Although, if you do know me, I am the hand wiring guy, so you know, no soldering kind of pains me a little bit there, but it's really nice that you kind of put a Corne together this fast. But at this point, what I'm gonna do is pop this out, and I wanna just show you that we have our screen over here. So we have our screen, and then there's these two holes below it. What we're gonna use for that is I have right here a baggie, which has the little transparent acrylic OLED covers. There's basically some hardware on there. Pretty much all you'll do with this is you'll pop some screws in the back here. So they pop the screws in there, pop the standoff on, and then just kind of screw it together. There's a bug on my face. These bugs have been killing me out here, so bug spray for next time. But with that, that's what I'm gonna assemble there. And then the next one that we're gonna have to do is we have a baggie of kind of additional hardware here to assemble the keyboard into the case. So yet again, what we have, I just knocked off my screen there, but we can kind of take a look. We have a hole here, one here, here, and here. Same concept, you'll basically put the standoff kind of through there, screw it onto the top, and then you can screw it into the back of the case here. There'll be a bunch of holes on there. So I'm not gonna like show you how to screw stuff in. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just gonna go through in time lapse, kind of assembling everything. And once it's all assembled, you're also gonna see, I'm gonna pop on the keycaps here, which are just some DSA keycaps. You just take these and just push them onto the switch. Yet again, self-explanatory. Probably another 5 minutes, and we'll have a functional board. After we flash the firmware, which I'm gonna try to do for my iPad, it sometimes doesn't work with a nice Nano depending on how iOS is feeling. Sometimes it will or won't. Not the keyboard's fault, that's just Apple kind of doing that. But I should be able to flash the firmware on there and show you the displays of what they look like and stuff like that. But probably about 5 more minutes, we'll have a functional board after the firmware. So I'm gonna go through and time lapse kind of assembling everything here. So here it is fully assembled, and I did try to flash the firmware on this, but my iPad's overheating, I'm overheating, the camera's overheating, everything's overheating out here. But what you basically do to flash the firmware is it's super simple. On the side of the actual thing here, there's the power switch. So you turn the power switch on, you'll double click the little reset button above it. This is all while it's plugged in your computer, of course. It will pop up as a hard drive. You'll flash the left firmware to the left side, and you'll flash the right firmware to the right side. That's kind of how you flash the firmware to each independent side. Then what you'll do is you'll power cycle them, so you'll hit the little switch again to turn it off. You'll turn them both back on, and then at the same exact time, you're gonna hit the reset button on both of them. So you're gonna press both of them at the same time, so you're gonna basically grab them like that, reset, and that will sync the two sides together. I'll probably have B-roll over this section kind of explaining that, but it's just too hot out here to do anything like that. But of course, at this point, what we have to do is, let me just actually show you what it looks like. I like the blacked out look. It looks really, really nice. And yet again, no soldering here. The back of it, and you're seeing here, the one thing I've complained to Nick at Typeractive before, I'm gonna do it again, Nick, is that please get rid of these flatheads. They are torture. They look nice. They really do. They look nice there, but they're just so hard to get in. Your screwdriver slips all the time, so you have to be careful when like actually screwing in the plate, because you will scratch it if your screwdriver slips. But other than that, it looks really great. I love how they look. The case print's pretty nice there. Nice little cutout. It looks great. I'll also pop up what the OLED looks like, or the display, what that looks like on there, because it does have some important information. But that's fully assembled. You have them both right here. We're gonna do a typing test. Of course, it's gonna be back in the studio because I don't have a mic set up and all that to do a typing test down here. But that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna just go do a typing test, and then I'll be back after to have some closing words on it. All right, so yeah, that's how to build a wireless Corne with no soldering at all in a park on a very hot day where I am now completely just cooked. I probably have a sunburn on my neck actually, but this is what it looks like. I've already showed you this kind of a few times, if I can kind of get that in frame there. Looks really nice. I like how it came out. It's a Corne, you know, this is my favorite kind of traditional mechanical keyboard out there. Well, I guess not traditional, it's a little bit more in the niche of the 40% world, but I really like the Corne. It feels pretty good. it's a Corne. You know, there's not much to say about it other than Typeractive makes it really easy. Yet again, obligatory, you know, I am affiliated with them, so if you do use the link down below, I will get a kickback on that. I'd appreciate if you do. But they do have that configurator, which is really, really nice. And they just have a really easy way to kind of build a Corne. Like you saw, we just built it in a park with no soldering in, if I wasn't recording, probably about 30 minutes or less. So very, very fast. And if you choose to do one with soldering, it's really not that hard because all you have to typically solder on is just the controller here and the little display. They keep it really kind of simple to really get up and running fast with them. But with that, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. I'm gonna go to the car now and cool off because it's very hot out here, but I'll see you next time.